Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So hopefully you guys have all had a chance to see Listen this weekend. And since it's something of a scary episode, I thought it'd be fun to talk about my top 5 favorite scary Doctor Who episodes. Horror is subjective, but I feel like there are at least a few episodes everyone can totally agree on being really scary. Also, if you thought Classic Who was scary, imagine what it would have looked like if Christopher Lee had been cast as the Doctor. Traumatize a generation, that's what it's all about. And real quick reminder, this week's giveaway is still running. I'll announce the winner in my Q&A tomorrow. If you're just finding me for the first time, all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So here we go, top 5 scary episodes of Doctor Who, starting with number 5, Family of Blood. Shout out to Harry Lloyd for being such an amazing creeper. There's something about Doctor Who period episodes that make them feel scarier. Maybe because everything looks less familiar. I feel like the new monsters from Listen in this week's episode remind me of the Scarecrow monsters from Family of Blood in that they're relatively featureless and they don't speak. I definitely think it's scarier when monsters don't speak. I will say one of my favorite props from the episode, in addition to the Doctor's fob watch, of course, is the red balloon that Sister Mine has. It's just so much creepier when she carries around this harmless looking red balloon. The real icing on the cake though is that after it's all over, it's the Doctor that ends up looking like the monster. Here are the punishments that he handed out to the Family of Blood. So we have the sister, forever trapped in the mirror, mother would be forever falling into a star, father, forever wrapped in chains, and brother, forever a scarecrow in a field. And it's all just because they wanted to live forever. That's all they wanted, to live forever. And the Doctor is like this angry djinn. He grants their wishes, but in this really twisted, evil way. On to number 4, Brain of Morbius. This is a 4th Doctor story involving a battle with a renegade Time Lord Morbius. I think of it as being a twist on the classic Frankenstein story, where the monster eventually turns on his master. So the classic episodes, I think in general, just are a little bit creepier because of the way they use music. Like this weird synthesizer organ music that just makes everything so much stranger. Like a classic X-Files episode with this weird tonal music. Here's a fun fact from behind the scenes. This is one of the few episodes in all of Doctor Who that features a gunshot and blood pouring from a wound. It's incredibly violent. If you'll remember, in this week's episode in Listen, there's a reference to the Doctor not carrying a gun. Obviously, he wasn't the one carrying the gun in this old episode either. The Dr. Frankenstein of the episode is basically Dr. Solon, who takes the hand of his servant, Kondo, who already kind of looks a little bit scary, and sews it onto Morbius, the renegade Time Lord. When the servant realizes what's happened and that Solon replaced his taken hand with a horrible looking hook, he shoots Kondo in the chest a bunch of times, thus the blood. Way more violent than anything in modern Who. But on to number 3, Caves of Androzani. This was the 5th Doctor's final story. The villain Jack already had this kind of nightmare-inducing costume and makeup, so not only did he just look scary in this really post-Star Wars, burn-face Darth Vader way, but he was utterly insane. Him creeping on Peri will make you shiver no matter how many times you watch it. Because he's so crazy, it's kind of hard to tell if he wants to be with her or if he wants to eat her for dinner. It's like this Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs thing where he feels like a serial killer, so you can't really apply normal logic to his actions. To be fair though, Jek is more a villain of circumstance than like a traditional black hat wearing villain who's just straight up evil. You do feel a little bit of sympathy for him, but the whole story is just one of the darkest regenerations ever. That would actually make a really awesome list, just ranking the Doctor's regenerations from happiest to darkest. It just feels like Classic Who would dominate a list like that, because most of the modern Who regenerations have been, relatively positive. But onto number 2, Empty Child. I feel like a lot of Doctor Who Tumblr reaction GIF sets use Empty Child gas mask pics just for shock value. The whole tone of this episode works really well with the intensity of the 9th Doctor. It just keeps you on edge constantly, which feels like a 9th Doctor kind of thing. Like he's just walking around on edge so much that he might jump out and strangle someone. One of the really fun twists though was making it a zombie story, but taking it to this weird techie place by using the nanovirus. I do a ton of Walking Dead videos during the year, and Robert Kirkman tells amazing zombie stories, but I feel like Doctor Who's techno-zombies were a really good twist on the genre. Ever since George Romero created the genre essentially with Dawn of the Dead, almost every single zombie story since then has been a riff on his. That's why I always give extra points to stories like Empty Child that can do a zombie story in a unique way. One of my favorite scary moments from the episode was when the Doctor puts on the gas mask at the end after it's all over and repeats, "Are you my mummy?" Like he's trying to be funny, but he doesn't understand that he's just horrifying everyone. It feels like a mean type of joke they would give to Capaldi's Doctor, although his dark sense of humor is a little less insane than the 9th Doctor's. I really do kind of feel like the Ninth Doctor is the craziest of all the New Who Doctors. To be fair, he was fresh from the war, so he was just starting to deal with what he'd done. Like, he was still in shock, so he had a much harder time approximating normal human social behavior. But onto my number one scary Doctor Who story, of course, Blink. I know everyone picks this as their scariest, but that's because it is the scariest story. Weeping Angels, hands down, also my personal favorite scary monster. I mean, how are you supposed to avoid something that's tied to your ability to not blink? I mean, you have to blink. It's a biological imperative. A lot of times, I feel like the Doctor and his companions have only escaped the Angels because they've been in a group of people, and the Angels always grab the red shirts. It's like that situation where, something is chasing you, you only have to be faster than the person next to you. You don't have to be faster than the monster. I feel like a lot of the brilliance from Blink comes from the MacGuffin, the VHS tapes that the Doctor uses to communicate, and the execution of the Angels themselves. I mean, it could have turned into something really ridiculous, but the way that they portrayed them on screen was just brilliant. They can't talk unless you count Angel Bob, and they only move when people in the episode, characters, aren't looking at them, and when we as the audience can't see them. Think about it this way, usually when the Angels move on camera, it's when the camera is not on them, or when the video feed a character in the episode is watching cuts out. Then there's the teeth and the claws. Whenever I watch Supernatural now, and I see the human form angels like Castiel walking around, I still think of their actual appearance as being something more like weeping angels underneath. It just makes it so much more fun. I don't expect Moffat to bring the Angels back in Series 8 just because he used them so much during the Matt Smith run and just in the Christmas special. It's possible they might include some visual references to them in future episodes, so we'll keep our eyes peeled. But now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite scary episode of Doctor Who? It could be classic or modern, just flat out most terror-inducing episode. Like I said, the giveaway for this week is still totally open till I post my Q&A on Sunday tomorrow. I'm sure everyone still has a ton of questions about that big twist at the end, so if you want to comment on it, just use spoiler tags, just because people might not have seen the episode yet. But right now, click here to get the Q&A video. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post it tomorrow. And click here to get my episode 4 review. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.